All right, let's go ahead and get started. So thank you all for joining today. My name is Dr. Kitiana Lowe, and I'm the Director of Administration here at WEBEC ORV. And so we are excited to have all of you join us this morning for our Doing Business session. Today we are featuring the City of Columbus. Before we toss to our speakers, just want to share a little bit, have you the opportunity to meet our team if you have not met all of us yet. Our fearless leader, Lanice Smith, is our president and CEO. Colleen Rudisill is our director of certification and outreach. Stephen Easley is our new fractional CMO, chief marketing officer. Angela Ruff and Robert Moore work with Colleen. They are certification specialists and manager of certification. And then we also have Catherine Macon and Byron Stallworth, our manager of marketing communications, as well as our corporate relations consultant. So together we are a mighty eight who work really hard to do all that we do for WEBEC ORV. And one of the things that we do is put together workshops such as this one, which this particular workshop provides the opportunity for you to hear from our corporate partners. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but today we have Dewana Allen and Taylor Davis. They serve as supplier diversity and business certification professionals with the City of Columbus and the Mayor's Office of Diversity and Inclusion. They are responsible for executing supplier diversity objectives and best practices to reduce barriers for underrepresented business communities and promote the economic inclusion of City of Columbus certified firms in the city's contract opportunities. Both Ms. Allen and Ms. Davis serve as industry experts to internal and external stakeholders, identifying and evaluating opportunities for certifiable firms to do business with the City of Columbus. By leading ODI's outreach and engagement, expanding awareness of the benefits of business certification, they drive economic diversity through strategic alliances and broad community engagement to build strong internal and external relationships. So we are excited to have both Dewana Allen and Taylor Davis with us today to share more about how to do business with the City of Columbus. And with that, Taylor, I will go ahead. You should be able to share your screen.
All right.
Let's see if it lets you. If not, I will make you a host really quickly.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Are you able to see that?
Yes, we can.
All right. One moment. All right. Are we able to see the presentation here?
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here today. My name is Taylor Davis, and I'm just going to kind of run through Um, firstly, here, just kind of some background about the Office of Diversity and Inclusion and kind of what our office does. So, a little bit about us. We are an office offshoot of the Mayor's Office of the City of Columbus. And so we are focusing on advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion through collaboration with our city departments. And our three lines of business are equity, supplier diversity, and our workforce diversity. And so we're looking at disparities, procurement practices, and recruiting diverse workforces within the city. So this is our full diversity or supplier diversity team within our office. Me and Dewana, as well as some of our other colleagues here as well. And here is us again. And then kind of a little bit about what we do specifically as suppliers, business development, certification, community engagement, various initiatives, working with goal setting within the city, different things like that. And then here is our 3 steps to getting certified, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as well with our vendor registration. And then along with that is our contract compliance, and then finally our certification application for certification. And so some of the benefits of that certification are listed here. That visibility, access, opportunity, connecting with others as well. And so some of our goal setting initiatives at the city as well, contracting projects to make sure that we've got that equity and diversity within the city as we are connecting with people looking for opportunities as well. And then this is just our supplier scorecard that we look for when we are making sure that that diversity is there. Thank you. And now I'm going to really kind of dive into our certification with the City of Columbus. So again, some background on our office. And those benefits again. So really when you're looking at certification, kind of just really depends on what you are wanting to get out of that with your business. So identifying and branding as you kind of grow, being in our directory, access to various like partnerships, trainings, things like that, various networking events as well. And then that bid discount for goals and incentives to working with the city specifically are also a benefit to being certified with the city. So these are our current certification programs right now. So we've got our minority enterprise, our women enterprise, our emerging business enterprise, veterans, and our LGBTQ enterprise as well for all of our certifications. There's some differences for minority and women. Those are our certifications that we utilize for goals and incentives for projects with the City of Columbus. Our emerging business enterprise, that certification, that is for any business that we recognize as an MBE, so as a minority or is a woman owned business. However, they are outside of Franklin County or the City of Columbus. They have a different designation. Those businesses that fall into that category would not, the only difference is that they would not qualify for any goals or incentives as far as bidding with the City of Columbus. Veterans, anyone who can provide their DD 214, and then we also have the LGBT business certification that as long as they've got, they have to get that national certification first, but then they can come to us and we can certify them as well. So the certification process is really where we're looking at the application and kind of going through what documentation that we've asked for and kind of wanting to work with these businesses to get them certified. So again, these are our certifications here. So the eligibility for all of our certifications that we're looking for are that 51% of them, 51% is owned by the minority or veteran or LGBT individual or woman. But you must be in business for at least 6 months. It must be a for-profit business, so we do not certify nonprofits. Must be U.S. citizen, must have all of those permits, any license, anything like that that's required for your business. You must have all of those things at the time of applying for certification with us. So specifically for the MBE, WBE certifications, we are looking at that various minority breakdown, as well as for women owned. Pretty straightforward about what we're looking for as far as that majority ownership, that 51% ownership, and what that has to look like for us. It's also important to note that, again, those businesses to qualify for it, MBE or WBE, must have a physical presence within Franklin County, within the city of Columbus. And so again, for EBE certification, any business that is outside of that Franklin County or city of Columbus would be an EBE. So we recognize that person or business owner as a minority or a woman, but they are outside of that area. And then our certification requirements for veterans, straightforward as well. There's just that DD 214 needed. And then that certification needed for the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce to get that certification with us. So the next steps here are kind of broken down, and I believe we have like a little one pager that'll kind of brief on that as well. But really it is 3 steps. That first one is going to our vendor portal to become a vendor with the city in general. And so you're going to register as a vendor to do business overall with the city. There's a link here that you'll follow. You'll create that. You'll put all your information in. And that gives you access to being a vendor. You can bid on jobs. You can do all of that without being certified or anything, and can pursue that, any opportunities as well. Then it is right after you complete your vendor profile, the last step would be to complete what's called a contract compliance questionnaire. It's just a few brief questions, just kind of wants to know, are you an equal opportunity employer? How many employees do you have? Some basic questions. I mean, you will just fill that out and that will create your vendor number and fully get you into our system. And then the final step is to follow the link to the certification application site, and you'll start that process. The process for the certification application is pretty straightforward as well. You're going to kind of answer some questions. It's going to ask you some things. You're going to go through those steps there. And the final step is to attach some documentation. And then once we receive that, we'll kind of look through it, reach out for the next step, and get you certified. And so this is kind of an overview of the mandatory documentation that we're looking for. So if you can, it would be great if you can have a business logo or something like that to represent your business when we put it into the directory with the city. Any licenses, resume, lease agreements, things like that. A capability statement, which is just a brief overview of kind of what your business provides, and a logo and everything like that. Maybe some codes like your NAICS codes, your UNSPS codes, photo ID, things like that that we're looking for that application. And then any other additional documentation based on your business type as well. So another note too, we like to inform people, sometimes there's things that you don't necessarily, that don't apply to your business. Maybe you don't have a lease, maybe you don't have loans, things like that. So anything that's necessary, not necessarily needed by your business, you don't have to include. And then some frequently asked questions that we get normally, why should I be certified? It's something that is great as you're kind of growing your business, just to kind of pursue. Our certification is free. It boosts your potential for conducting business, increases your visibility, and just having that branding and things like that as you kind of go through and grow and connect more with people, and people can see that you're certified. Again, our certification is free. This is our link again to get certified and pursue that application. In the application process overall, it takes about 90 days, depending on how many applications in our system, the complexity, anything that we need, if we need more information, things like that. And yes, we do have a renewal that is 2 years. So if you got certified this year, it would be in 2026, your renewal. And that is just a simple kind of going back in. Has anything changed with my business? Kind of answering a few questions, and we can get you recertified with us. And then we do also have a reciprocal relationship with a few other organizations, the state of Ohio, WEBEC, obviously, and then Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council as well, which means if we certify you or you're certified with one of these agencies, your process to get certified with us is a lot less information heavy. So we recognize that you've been vetted, for example, with the state of Ohio. So you can come to us and say, hey, I've been certified with the state. And then your process for that application is a lot less arduous, and we can certify you as well. I want to make sure that's everything else. And that's really kind of encompassing everything for our certification application and our certification programs. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So we do have a few questions in the chat. I want to kind of scroll up. My screen just happens to be at the chat going, the questions are going between Angela and Chelsea, but I'm going to scroll back up first and then we'll go back down. So the first question that I see says, does my company need to be certified through the city of Columbus to be considered for opportunities, or is certification through WeBank acceptable as well?
That's a good question. So if you are wanting to pursue opportunities as far as goals and incentives on projects that require the city of Columbus certification for MBE and WBE, then yes, those opportunities are specifically for businesses that are certified as MBE or WBE with the city of Columbus. So that yes, so you do need to be certified if you're looking for that. If you're not necessarily looking for those opportunities specifically, then no, you don't. But it's always a great thing too if you are wanting to. We definitely encourage it.
Okay, thank you. And then the next question, and if you want to stop sharing your screen, that works too. So I see myself on your screen. It says, if you are outside of Franklin County and the city of Columbus, can you still qualify?
So yes, you would be. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once.
You're
So
fine.
I mentioned the EBE certification for any business that's outside of Franklin County, City of Columbus area. That would be the certification that anyone you would fall under. That certification, like I mentioned, does not qualify for any of the goals and incentives on projects working with the city, however, but there definitely is a certification for you, and that we can certify your business as.
Alrighty. And give me 1 second. Let me get back to the chat. Taylor, do you want to stop sharing your screen?
I thought I was. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It says
Still see it.
paused.
Nope, we still see it.
Screen sharing. There we go.
There
Sorry.
we go. Okay, no worries. Let's see. This next question says, I think you may have just answered this. So we need to be, so it says, is Taylor saying we have to be WBE, MBE certified in Columbus as well? And that's in addition to the fact that they are already WeBank certified.
Yes, as far as if you're asking kind of the similar, if you to work with the city and take advantage of the goals and incentives. If you are eligible to be certified as an MBE, WBE for that purpose, yes. It also, if you are wanting to get certified as both, we would encourage that. So when you're certified with one entity, you're not certified with another necessarily. But like I mentioned, if you are certified with WeBank, you have that reciprocal opportunity to come to us and say, hey, I'm certified with WeBank, and we you would just go through a simpler process because you've been vetted already for your certification, if that makes sense. So you still would want to certify with us. Again, our certification is free. And when you go through that process, it would be a lot simpler and quicker and easier for you.
Okay, perfect. So I think I saw that question. I may have seen that question one additional time. So just to be clear and to clarify, because you all are WeBank certified, it will I don't want to say expedite, it will aid you. I'm not going to say expedite, it will aid you in the process of being certified with the city of Columbus.
Exactly. And yes, and in a way, yes, it kind of is. The process is, it's not as, heavy on all the documentation you need. We wouldn't have to go through another process of like meeting and all of that. So a lot less time is involved. And typically when those applications come through, those can be processed within like that day or the week sometimes. So just a lot simpler of a process. Yeah.
Perfect. And then I think I already heard you mention this. The question says, are there fees for the reciprocal? Did I hear you say that there's no fee for your certification,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct. No fees, no fees for any of our certifications at all. It's a free
Okay.
process with the city.
All right. And then the last question I see is, what is the link to the certification application?
So the link is, and I believe, okay, so if we're sending over the presentation, that's great because the link is in there.
Okay.
The link is in the presentation. It will say, here is the link to certification within that, that you can click on and follow, and it'll actually visually show you kind of where you'll want to go on the page once you get there to click on to start that process.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, in case you missed it, for anybody that's joined, so we will be sending not only the presentation, the PDF of the presentation, as well as the recording, and a quick survey will be sent out via email. You all should have that by tomorrow. So everything that was presented here today, you will have in your hands. You can reference it. There'll be contact information for any questions and things like that. Before we wrap up, does anybody else have any other questions? I want to allow some time, whether you either want to put it in the chat or if you want to come off mute and ask any questions. Okay, so hearing none, let me get this back up here and we are going to wrap some things up here. So I want to share with you a few of our upcoming events. This listing you can always find on our events calendar. If you follow us on social media, you'll find all the information about our events there, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, I believe as well. Just to highlight though, a few of them, I'm not going to read through this whole list, but on April 16th, we have our Gateway to Growth workshop, which is a workshop that talks about importing and exporting in Africa, with Africa. So if that is an area that you are interested in expanding your business in, you don't know if you want to expand your business, but it sounds like it might be a great idea. This is a webinar and workshop and panel that you definitely should plan to attend. And then we also have on April 23rd is our first ORV town hall. This is an opportunity for you to come and hear about what we did in 2023, what we plan to continue to do in 2024, and hear some of the things about the plans that we have that Lenise has for the organization. So mark your calendars for April 23rd. That is from 12 to 1. We have another doing business session on April 24th. That's doing business with Southwest Ohio Regional Transit Authority. And so we're excited for that. So if that's an area where you think you might want to expand your business, you'll want to tune in there. On April 25th is our first, it's our Pitch Pro Talks workshop. And so this is the first part of our Pitch Academy that we have, which is a 2-part series that gears you up for pitching at Catch the Wave and pitching on a national level as well. So Pitch Pro Talks is going to be a webinar where we will hear from our winners from Catch the Wave last year, as well as hear from 3 of our judges. We'll have the opportunity to watch the videos that they submitted when they were submitting their pitch, and then they'll really talk about how they, how they blossom and change between submitting to pitch versus pitching at Catch the Wave, and then 2 of them actually pitched at the national level and went on to do very well. So you'll hear from them. If you are, well, I won't say if you're a woman of color or you're an ally, which that means everybody on this group. May 9th and 10th is our first Woman of Colors event that we're doing alongside Nationals. It's going to be in Columbus, Ohio. It's Bold and Brilliant, Unleashing Your Voice and Amplifying Your Power. So you will see more information coming by the end of this week with how to register for that event. And then, of course, if you don't already have the date on the calendar, you will hear us say it 5 gazillion times between now and then. But 2024 Catch the Wave, this is our 15th anniversary. We're excited to be in Cincinnati, Ohio for Catch the Wave this year, August 26th through the 28th. So definitely more information is coming there. Put the date on your calendar. We don't want to hear any excuses as to why you're not there. Nobody can tell me that you didn't hear it, because if you've been to any of these events, you're going to see it every single time. So these are just some of the events that we have coming up. I see we've got some stuff coming on in the chat. Let me see. Where are we? We do have another question. It looks like Donella actually answered it on the chat. The question was, are opportunities only posted on the Columbus bid site? The question is, or the answer is yes. City bids are posted on the vendor services, and the link will be distributed to those on the call. So we will get all that information out as well. Let me see. Is there a link to these upcoming events? So the easiest way to get to them, I want to say, is if you go to our website, webecorv.org, and click the calendar or events page, then you can actually click the direct link for each one of those events. Everything that I've talked about so far is there, except for the Woman of Color is probably not there yet, because we'll be launching that by the end of this week. But if there's anything, Chelsea, that you don't see, or anyone else, I'm just directing it since Chelsea asked the question, just send me an email, klow@webecorv.org, and I can direct you as well. Any other questions? Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right, if there aren't any other questions, the last thing I want to do is, if you're watching this from your phone, this doesn't help you at all, but if you're not watching it from your phone, if you can pull your phone out and scan this QR code for us, there's a very brief survey that we'll ask you to fill out. I think it's like maybe 5 or 6 questions just about your experience today, and we really utilize that information to be able to make changes with our programming, and we provide the feedback to our speakers as well. So please take a brief moment to fill that out. And then after you've done that, I will say I look forward to seeing you at our next event, or our next webinar, which is coming up as soon as next week. So if you have any other questions, you know where to reach me. But thank you all, and you have a wonderful day. And thank you again, Taylor.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.